بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين صلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين عجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف وجعلنا من أعوانه وأنصاره اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. The final chapter of the section on commands is chapter 9 about al-amru bil-shay' ba'da al-amri bih, commanding something after it has been already commanded. Okay, al-amru bil-shay', commanding something ba'da al-amri bih, after it has been already commanded. For example, it is said salli, pray, establish prayer, and then again it is said salli. Before the person has said prayer. If it is said salli, and the person says his prayer, salam, and again it is said salli, so it means that definitely you have to do it again. It's a new command. But the question is, sometimes a command is issued, and before the person who has received this command, al-mukallaf, before he actually implements, a second command is issued. So al-amru bil-shay' ba'da al-amri bih, commanding to do something after it has been already commanded. إذا أمر المولى بشيء ثم أمر به قبل امتثال الأمر الأول. If the master commands something, and then he commands again before the first command is obeyed and implemented, put into practice. فهل هو ظاهر في التأكيد أو ظاهر في التأسيس? Is the second command indicating that it is a matter of emphasis, or it indicates that it's a matter of a new legislation, a new command? So, in other words, are we dealing with one command and a second command as emphasis on the first one, just as a reminder? Or there are two separate obligations facing us? هل هو ظاهر في التأكيد أو ظاهر في التأسيس? Is this indicating, and its outward meaning as معنى الظاهري, is the معنى الظاهري for this تأكيد, emphasis, or تأسيس? تأسيس means new legislation, new foundation, means new obligation.
What is it derived from that?
Assasa. For example, the Quran says, لَمَسْجِدٌ أُسِّسَ عَلَى التَّقْوَى مِنْ أَوَّلِ يَوْمٍ أَحَقُّ أَنْ تَقُومَ فِيهِ. About Masjid Quba, لَمَسْجِدٌ أُسِّسَ. Ussisa means is founded. Ta'asis means to found, to establish. Here means to have a new legislation. Okay, this issue has four types. There are four possibilities. Sometimes the first type is إذا قيد متعلق الأمر الثاني بشيء يدل على التعدد والكثرة. The second command comes with something that shows multiplicity, repetition. For example, the first command is just Salli, say your prayer, but the second says Salli salatan ukhra, say your prayer another time, for the second time. So it's obvious then that we are dealing with two commands. So the first says Salli, the second says Salli salatan ukhra. So we are dealing with two commands. Okay? Here we don't have any ambiguity. The second type, there are two commands, but for each of them a specific reason or cause has been given. For example, it has been said that if you sleep, you have to make wuzu for prayer. Another one says, if you touch a dead person, for example, you have to make wuzu. So there are two commands for wuzu, but each of them comes with a separate cause. One is sleeping, the other is touching a dead body. Okay? إذا ذكر لكل حكم سبب خاص, for every verdict a specific cause has been mentioned. كما إذا قال, for example, the master says إذا نمت فتوضأ وإذا مسست ميتا فتوضأ. If you sleep, make wuzu. If you touch a dead body, make wuzu. Wuzu, yeah. So there are two commands for wuzu, but they are separate. Of course, inshallah, we will explain later that there is an issue here among scholars that if we have two mujib, two sabab for the same musabbab. For example, if someone is supposed to do ghusl janaba, also is, for example, ghusl jum'ah or another wajib ghusl. Is it possible to make one ghusl? This is called the issue of tadakhul. So do these causes come together and you can obey all of them by doing one ghusl, or you have to repeat? But in any case, what is not questionable is that these are two separate wujub, because each of them has its own sabab. The third is similar to the second, but the difference is that sabab is only mentioned for one of the commands. The other one comes without mentioning sabab. And يذكر السبب لواحد من الحكمين دون الآخر. The cause for wujub is mentioned for one of them, not for the other one. For example, one of them comes simply in the form of a command, tawadda, make wuzu. The other one says, إذا بلت فتوضأ. Yes, bala yabul, bowl. If urine comes, make wuzu. So the first one doesn't have the sabab, the second one has sabab. The fourth is that both of them come without mentioning sabab. أن يكون الحكم خاليا عن ذكر السبب في كلا الأمرين. In both commands, there is no mention of cause or sabab. Okay, so there are four possibilities. With respect to the first one, when he says Salli, and then it says Salli salatan ukhra. There is no doubt that this is a new command. It's ta'sis, not ta'kid. لا إشكال في أن الأمر في السورة الأولى للتأسيس لا للتأكيد. It's for emphasis or for establishing a new command. For which one? For تأسيس. لأن الأمر الثاني صريح في التعدد, because the second command is explicit in multiplicity. It's very hot, yeah? Can you turn off the heater? It's off, both of them off. It should be all right, inshallah. Should be, it's open. Okay, thank you. This heat is more than Usul. This is my either philosophy or irfan. أما السورة الثانية, the second type, فهي كالسورة الأولى ظاهرة في تأسيس إيجاب وراء إيجاب آخر. When it is said, when you asleep, make wuzu. If you touch a dead body, make wuzu. Of course, there are details like whether ghusl has done or not, you know. Anyway, when two sabab are mentioned, so it shows that this is a new command. So the second possibility is like the first one, ظاهرة في تأسيس إيجاب وراء إيجاب آخر. Yes, you can have a discussion here. نعم يقع الكلام في إمكان التداخل. Yes, there is a discussion here whether it's possible to have tadakhul, means to emerge into one. In what sense? بأن يمتثل كلا الوجوبين المتعددين بوضوء واحد. We have two wuzu to make, but is it possible to obey them by doing one wuzu or it's not possible? So this is dependent on what position you take in the discussion, which is known among scholars as تداخل المسببات. فهو مبني على تداخل المسببات وعدمه, means عدم التداخل عند تعدد الأسباب. This is something that we discuss it inshallah later, discussion about mafahim. If we have two or more reasons for wujub, is it possible to bring the action once because all are wujub for similar action, or we have to repeat the action? So this has nothing to do with our discussion right now, which is about command after command. In the second type, as far as command after command is concerned, there are two commands, is ta'sis. But whether these two commands, so you have to accept as two commands, whether these two commands can be implemented and obeyed by bringing it once, that's the issue of tadakhulul musabbabat. وسيأتي الكلام فيها في باب المفاهيم. Inshallah, when we talk about mafahim, you remember mafahim, implicit meanings? We had مفهوم الشرط, مفهوم الوصف, مفهوم اللقب, مفهوم العدد, مفهوم الاستثناء, all those discussions. وسيأتي الكلام فيها في باب المفاهيم فيختص محل البحث بالصورتين الأخيرتين. So what remains to be discussed is the third and the fourth, the last two types. We said there are four types, four possibilities. The first two types clearly show ta'sis. The third when sabab for one of them is mentioned and for the other one is not mentioned, and the fourth when sabab for none of them is mentioned. What should we do? Ayatollah Subhani says, لعل القول بالإجمال وعدم ظهور الكلام في واحد من التأكيد والتأسيس أولى. Maybe it is better to say that here there is no indication of ta'sis or ta'kid. Our text is not clear whether ta'sis is meant or ta'kid. It becomes mujmal with this regard. You remember mujmal? Mujmal is something that is neither nas nor zahir. So, لعل القول بالإجمال means it is mujmal, not mubayyan. Remember we had mujmal and mubayyan. So maybe to say that it is mujmal and there is no zuhur, neither for ta'kid nor for ta'sis. Maybe this is a better view. Why? Because these two hay'a of amr, salli for example, تدلان على تعدد البعث. It shows that there are two salli means two pushing. But pushing can be for ta'kid and pushing can be for ta'sis. It's silent. It doesn't indicate which one is this. Some people said we have to take as first assumption always ta'sis. So we should primarily go by ta'sis unless it is proved that it is ta'kid. He says we don't accept such assumption. We say that amr is for pushing and pushing can be for both. Sometimes you push someone because you want to give him a new command. Sometimes you push someone because you want to emphasize on the first command. You are not sure he's going to do it. Like when I keep telling you, do mubahasa, this is not ta'sis, it's ta'kid. Yeah? I keep telling you, it's ta'kid. Okay, Alhamdulillah, we finished the discussion about awamir, commands. Now we move on to the next section of the book, which is about an-nawahi, prohibitions. And this by itself comes in different chapters. Yes.
Usually Allah finds very clear that this is the correct one.
Yeah.
Here it is apparently. Why is that? Does it mean the same thing?
Here he says it's mujmal. He wants to, because he wants to say that command by itself doesn't indicate more than ba'as, so it cannot be understood. Again, he's clear. He is clear, but the text is not clear. He is clear that this is mujmal. The second section starts with a discussion about, again, maddatul nahy wa siqatul nahy. You remember we had maddatul amr wa siqatul amr. Maddatul amr was amr and its derivatives. Amuru, ya'muru, mur, muru. Siqa is the structure, the cast, like if'al. Nahi is the same. Sometimes you say, إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي. ينهى. This is مادة النهي. But sometimes Allah says لا تأكلوا أموال اليتامى. So this is صيغة النهي.
So صيغة is amr.
Not amr.
No, amr is the negative.
Prohibition. Yes. Now we will discuss whether it's talabut tark or it is zajr. We will talk about it. في مادة النهي وصيغته. So we both about مادة النهي وصيغة النهي, which is هيئة النهي, صيغة النهي, the structure, the cast for prohibition. النهي هو الزجر عن الشيء. Nahi is to prohibit means to stop. Zajr. Zajr is opposite to push. To prevent. Maybe to hold someone. Nahi means to stop someone. Pardon? Away from the action. Yes. Means to hold him back from doing something. For example, لا تغتبوا. We want to stop them from backbiting. النهي هو الزجر عن الشيء. To stop, to hold back from doing something. For example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Quran, Surah Al-Alaq, verses 9 and 10, أَرَأَيْتَ الَّذِي يَنْهَى عَبْدًا إِذَا صَلَّى. Have you seen the one who prohibits a servant who is praying? يَنْهَى عَبْدًا. So he stops a servant of God when he is praying. وَيُعْتَبَرُ فِي. I am sure you remember we had this discussion about Amr, and we had also in the previous book whether in Amr we need ulov or isti'la. The same is with Nahi. Do we need ulov, means superiority, real superiority, or isti'la, means to assume that you are higher? Ayatollah Subhani says both are needed, because sometimes a person is in a high position but speaks as a person who is equal or lower. Sometimes a father or mother, they speak to their child as a person who is equal or even lower. They beg the child. So just to be high and superior is not enough. You have to speak assuming your highness. So both ulov and isti'la. يُعْتَبَرُ فِيهِ means في النهي العلو والاستعلاء. To be high and to assume that. وَيُتَبَادَرُ مِنْ مَادَّةِ النَّهْيِ الْحُرْمَةِ. What precedes to our mind? You remember the technical meaning of tabadur. You know, we had discussion about the signs of haqiqah. The first one was tabadur. When you hear a word, the very first meaning that without evidence comes to your mind is real meaning. So, what comes to our mind before any other meaning by simply hearing the word nahi is what? Al-hurma. بمعنى لزوم الامتثال على وفق النهي. You have to follow it, you have to obey it, but obeying nahi means not to do it. When you obey a prohibition, it means that you must not do that action which is prohibited. وَالدَّلِيلُ عَلَيْهِ قَوْلُهُ سُبْحَانَهُ. And the reason, the reference for it is this word of God. وَأَخْذِهِمُ الرِّبَا وَقَدْ نُهُوا عَنْهُ. Allah blames them for taking usury, riba, while they were prohibited. They were asked not to take. Is this وَقَدْ نُهُوا عَنْهُ indicating hurma or not? It's haram. Another example. فَلَمَّا عَتَوْا عَمَّا نُهُوا عَنْهُ قُلْنَا لَهُمْ كُونُوا قِرَدَةً خَاسِئِينَ. When they disobeyed with respect to what they were prohibited, means they rebelled, they disobeyed, they didn't listen to Allah's command, which was not to work on Sabbath. Yeah. Then after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after that says, we told them to become apes and khasa'in, like, humiliated. Nuhu, they were asked not to do busyness, not to do work on Saturday. وَقَدْ مَرَّ نَذِيرُ هَذِهِ الْمَبَاحِثِ فِي مَادَّةِ الْأَمْرِ. We had similar discussions like this when we were talking about مَادَّةُ الْأَمْرِ. فلا نطيل. So we don't prolong the discussion here. Yes.
You know, when you spoke about the commanding, scholars have different views on this. Like I think Ayatollah Khomeini and Ayatollah Subhani believe that you have to have position and attitude.
Yeah.
Then there were others that said
Yes.
that's not the case.
So
The
he,
same with this.
yeah, the same thing, but he assumes that both Olov and Stella are needed.
So the same scholars that refuted the first
Yes.
they refute.
Normally they have whatever position they take there, they may take here. Normally. So this was about maddatun nahi. Now we move on to sighatun nahi. لا تفعل لا تفعلوا. أما صيغة النهي فالمشهور بين الأصوليين أنها كالأمر. What is common among ulama al-usul is it is like amr. In what sense? في الدلالة على الطلب. This also indicates talab, to ask. But in amr was talabul fi'l, and here is talabu tarkil fi'l. Salli means I want you to say your prayer. La takdhib means I want you not to tell lies. So talabu tarkil fi'l. But there is talab. The one who issues command or issues prohibition is asking you to do something or asking you not to do something. In command is talabul fi'l, in nahi is talabul tark. ولكن الحق. But the truth is, Ayatollah Subhani has his own view. He says, we said Amr is not talabul fi'l. Remember we said Amr is ba'th. Here also we say Nahi is not talabu tark al-fi'l. Nahi is zajr. To stop, to hold away. This is the meaning of Nahi. ولكن الحق أن الهيئة في الأوامر وضعت للبعث إلى الفعل وفي النواهي وضعت للزجر عنه وهما يتحققان. Both ba'th and zajr, pushing towards action or holding back from action, both of them can happen by organs, بالجوارح. For example, with your head, you say, do it, or you say not to do. Sometimes with your head, you say do or not to do. Or yad, you say, with your hand, you say, sometimes you say do, not to. Okay? One of great ulama for istikhara, because people, ask him for istikhara, and he was hesitant to speak. So when you say istikhara, if it's most, positive, manfi, that's this and this. You know him, it was very spiritual. So sometimes with yad, أو باللفظ والكتابة, or with words, or with writing. Means here lafz must mean a spoken word, because kitaba is also lafz. Means sometimes a spoken word, sometimes written word. So على ضوء ذلك, under the light of what we said, فالأمر والنهي متحدان. Command and prohibition are united من حيث المتعلق، مختلفان من حيث الحقيقة والمبادئ والآثار. So they are similar, they are also different. Their difference is in three aspects. Their similarity is that they are both for a kind of pushing towards or pushing away. But the difference is حقيقة, مبادئ, آثار. What does it mean? Their nature, حقيقة, means their reality, their nature is different. Amr is ba'thun insha'i and nahi is zajrun insha'i. You remember insha? Opposite to ikhbar. Ikhbar means you give news, information. Insha is that you initiate. Like zawajtu, bi'tu, ishtaraytu, qabiltu, anta taliq. These are insha. By your very saying, you initiate a contract or a transaction or something. Insha. So the difference between amr and nahy has three dimensions. One is the reality is different. One is ba'thun insha'i, and the second is zajrun kadhalik, means zajrun insha'i. Nahy is zajr, but in the case of ijra, insha means you initiate, and amr is ba'thun insha'i. The second difference is mabadi, origins. Where do they originate from? What is their source? Mabda'ul amr, the origin, the source of command is what? Al-irada an-nabi'ah min at-tasdiq bil-maslahah wal-ishtiyaq ilayha. The will of commander, which nabi'ah means originates from confirming the interest which is in this and yearning for it. So when our master, the lawmaker, knows that there is a maslaha, great maslaha coming from this, he wills, he makes irada of asking us to do something. But in nahi, instead of irada, is karaha. You remember in Babu Hadi Ash, we talked about Allah being murid and kareh. Irada means to want, karaha means to dislike, not to want. Okay? So, mabda means the origin of amr is al-irada an-nabi'ah min at-tasdiq bil-maslaha wal-ishtiyaq ilayha. You affirm, you confirm that there is maslaha in this and you have yearning towards that maslaha, that interest. But in nahy, there is a karaha, dislike, which originates from confirming that there is a fasad, there is a harm, and you are distancing yourself from that. In zajare anha, you distance yourself from that harm. Yes.
In Surah Baqarah, this topic of gambling is used يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْخَمْرِ وَالْمَيْسِرِ. I think in this one it says that there's some benefits and harms, but the harms outweigh the benefits.
Yes.
Can it be the case that there's both, but still the lawmaker gives a decision on it, or does it have to be one is benefiting and one is harmful?
Sometimes it's purely beneficial, sometimes it's purely harmful, sometimes it's a combinations. Then you have to measure the overall balance. In the case of gambling, overall balance is bad. إثمهما أكبر من نفعهما. But sometimes overall balance is very good.
Even sometimes they'll tell you a glass of wine a day can be good for the heart or some other things, but I guess this is the overall balance.
Overall balance. وَأَمَّا مِنْ حَيْثُ الْآثَارِ. The third dimension in their difference is the outcomes, the consequences. When you bring what has been commanded, this causes reward. Yujibul mathubah. You will get thawab, you will get reward. والاتيان بمتعلق النهي معصية توجب العقوبة. But if you bring what has been prohibited, it's an act of sin and it would bring punishment. Okay? Is it clear? The next discussion, again similar to what we had before. ظهور الأمر في الوجوب. We said, command can be used for wujub, for istihbab, for many other things. Ta'ajiz, istifsar. Sighatun nahi also can be used in different things, but like amr, when master issues a command, we said we have to do it unless there is an evidence that if you don't do it, he's all right. Also, with respect to nahi, when he says not to do, when he makes zajr, he holds us away from something, you must not do it unless there is an evidence that this is karaha, for example. Makruh, it's disliked, but you can do it. ظهور الصيغة في التحريم قد علمت أن هيئة لا تفعل موضوعة للزجر. The structure, the cast is designated for zajr, means holding back, stopping.
Can you put it in translation?
The sigha or hay'a, the structure of nahi, as an outward meaning, indicates hurma, means prohibition. كما أن هيئة إفعال موضوعة للبعث. The structure of command is for pushing and for nahi is zajr. وعلى هذا فالوجوب والحرمة ليس من مداليل الألفاظ. So whether it is wajib or it is haram, also whether it is mustahab or makruh, they are not understood from the term. Term only says bas for amr or zajr for nahi. But what type of ba'ath? Is it a bas that if you don't do it you will be punished, or is it a bas that it's better to do it? You don't understand it from siqa. But your aql tells you that when your Mawla says you have to do something, you have to take it seriously, unless he himself says, and if you don't mind, if you don't do it also, I don't mind. I'm not going to punish you. It's better not to do it, but if you do it, it's okay. If there is no such evidence, then we have to take it as something categorical and something decisive. But if there is evidence that you can still not do it, then we don't take it as obligation. Yes.
In the last page, he mentioned al-mashhur bain al-usuliyin, that amr is for ijab and nahi is for permission. And then he says al-haq annahu zajr. So the difference is the same as the difference with amr.
Yeah. So he doesn't accept mashhur.
Yeah. So here it's also just about pushing, not indicating.
Yes. قد علمت أن هيئة لا تفعل موضوعة للزاج كما أن هيئة إفعال موضوعة للبعث وعلى هذا فالوجوب والحرمة ليس من مداليل الألفاظ. They are not designated to indicate wujub and hurma. Wujub and hurma are not meanings that are understood from terms. وإنما ينتزعان من مقام في مقام الثبوت من مبادئ الأمر والنهي. They would be abstracted, they would be taken in maqam al-subut. I don't know if you remember, I think we had this before. Ulama have a distinction between maqam al-thubut, maqam al-ithbat. Maqam al-thubut relates to existence. Maqam al-ithbat relates to proving something. One is existential, another is epistemological. For example, we say, for this position, we need someone who is good in maqam al-thubut and also good in maqam al-isbat. What does it mean? It means that he is really good and he is also known to be good. There are positions that you need to have someone who is really good and also known to be good. If someone is really good but is unknown, he cannot be given a leadership position most of the time. Or if someone is only known to be good, but fi maqam al-subut he is not good, against a problem. So, إنما ينتزعان في مقام الثبوت. In reality, these two come from where? From the origins of Amr and Nahy. If this pushing originates from a strong will, or if holding back is issued from a strong dislike, then we can take out of them the meaning of wujub and hurma. But if that person who is issuing this command doesn't have a strong irada to do this, or a strong dislike to do this, then we don't take it to mean hurma or wujub. This is about reality. When it comes to maqamul ithbat wa dalala, how to know this, how to understand this. So we say, إن الوجوب والحرمة ليس من المداليل اللفظية. Wujub and hurma are not understood from terms. They are not linguistic meanings. لكن الأمر أو النهي إذا لم يقترنا بما يدل على ضعف الإرادة أو الكراهة يحمل على الوجوب والحرمة. The thing is that Amr and Nahy don't indicate wujub and hurma. Amr doesn't indicate wujub. Nahy doesn't indicate hurma. But if there is no evidence, we have to assume that irada of Mawla here is shadid, is strong, and he wants this to happen definitely in Amr, and he wants this not to happen definitely in Nahy. Unless there is an evidence which suggests otherwise. لكن الأمر أو النهي إذا لم يقترنا بما يدل على ضعف الإرادة أو الكراهة يحمل على الوجوب والحرمة. Why? لأن لحكم العقل بأن بعث المولى أو زجره لا يترك بالامتثال. When Mawla pushes you towards something, hold you back, you cannot just ignore it and do nothing. If you say, maybe this irada of Mawla was not strong, say, no, you cannot run away from your duty by bringing such doubt. وبعبارة أخرى العقل يلزم بتحصيل المؤمن في دائرة المولوية والعبودية. This sentence is very important. عقل يلزم, intellect, reason, forces, compels to gain mu'ammin. Please remember the meaning of mu'ammin. Mu'ammin comes from aman, something that gives you security and safety. Mu'ammin. Mu'ammin has also another meaning, the one who says Amin. Who says Amin is also called Mu'ammin. But here Mu'ammin means the one who gives protection. Aql tells us that when Mawla asks something, you have to be precautious. You have to have something that gives you peace of mind and safety and security. And this cannot happen unless you obey the command and you follow the prohibition. ولا يتحقق إلا بالإتيان بالفعل في الأمر وتركه في النهي. To bring it for command and to avoid it for prohibition. The last thing for tonight. For Usul. Like Amr, we had a discussion whether Amr means once or you repeat. If Mawla said Akram al-ulama, is it enough to do it once or you should repeat? If he says Saleh, you do it once or you repeat. Okay? If you remember, we said it doesn't indicate any of the two. Yeah? You have to do it, but how many times? It doesn't indicate, therefore you can do the minimum. Here also we say, Inna nahya kal amr. Prohibition is like command. لا يدل على المرة ولا التكرار. It doesn't indicate that it has to be one or it has to be many. To be one or many cannot be understood from prohibition. لأن المادة, because madda is designated for الطبيعة الصرفة, for the mere nature, the mere quiddity or essence of the action. والهيئة وضعت للزجر. The hayya of nahi is also designated only for holding back. فأين الدال على المرة والتكرار. So what is the indicator, signifier of once, to do it once or many? Yes, there is something that you have to remember. In nahi, because we want that nature of action not to come into existence, so it's not just enough if he doesn't do ghaiba. For example, if I tell you, لا يغتب بعضكم بعضا, don't backbite each other. This is nahi. If one of you doesn't backbite A, but then starts backbiting B, C, D, E, F, we say, why did you backbite people? He said, you told me لا تغتاب, and I didn't backbite A, so I obeyed you. امتثلت. Say, no, you didn't obey. Because when we say don't backbite, means you have to avoid tabi'ah, this nature, this reality of ghaiba. If you avoid one instance, but you bring other instances, you have not avoided. If we say don't kill people, and if you kill some people and not others, you cannot say I obeyed. Even if you kill one person, you cannot say I am not a killer because I didn't kill billions of people. Okay, so just one failure in obeying nahi makes you sinful. نعم إذا كان لما كان المطلوب هو ترك الطبيعة المنهي عنها, when what is matlub, what is wanted, is to leave the nature, the quiddity which is prohibited, and this cannot happen unless you leave all the individuals, all the instances. So our aql makes this judgment, this ruling. الاجتناب عن جميع محققات الطبيعة. You have to avoid anything that brings the tabi'ah of ghaiba. Anything that brings, for example, the tabi'ah of qatl into reality. For murder to come into existence, one murder is enough. For ghaiba to come into existence, one ghaiba is enough. So when you are asked not to do ghaiba, you have to avoid all instances of ghaiba. Okay? وَهَذَا غَيْرُ دَلَالَةِ اللَّفْظِ عَلَى التَّكْرَارِ. He says this is different from saying the lafz, the term indicates this. This is an intellectual implication. Al-Ittihal, he says, from this you understand that nahi doesn't mean for or tarahi aizan. You remember one discussion was, do I need to do it quickly or I can delay? We said it only indicates ba'ath. For and tarahi are not understood, but you cannot delay that much that people say you are careless. You have to do it quickly. If your master tells you bring me water, you cannot bring him after another year. So I brought it. You have to bring it quickly because otherwise you are considered as careless. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.